Okay, so this is our hanging L-sit progressions, and what we're talking about here specifically is active flexibility against gravity. So gravity is resisting us in our flexibility and our range on these. So what we want to do when we approach this is we want to progress it one step at a time. We don't want to go right to the full L-sit unless we are capable of that, but we want to make sure we understand all the fine points of these movements from its lowest regression to its full position. So first, let's talk about the hang. When we are working more active flexibility and compression, we don't want to rely on our lat strength. So it should be a full hang, shoulders completely at rest. Should feel like the shoulders are stretched right up, covering the ears, okay? You'll know someone's pulling with the lats too much if the shoulder starts to really pull back in and you start to see the shoulders uncover the ears. So fully hung. My feet are on the ground right now just to show you. So I'm hung right in full position so that I can relax my lats and get a nice stretch there. And that way I'm going to rely more on my compression and active flexibility than my upper body strength. Step one is the half lever. So it's the tuck position. The attributes of this position are that we are tucked at least knee parallel to the hips, okay? And that we don't want the heel kicking in. So we want the heels to stay right underneath the knees. That's the most specific position to ensure we're getting that active compression. So what we can do is get ourselves in a nice relaxed hang and slowly tuck the knees up, squeeze the knees together, and hold. So that is step one. 15 to 20 seconds strength is sufficient to start exploring the next step. Exploring the next step is just going into a single leg lever. So now what we're looking to do is come in to, it's best that we always go from the last progression and hold. We can experiment here with going back and forth, but what we're looking for here first is just the strength against gravity. So developing a static strength first. Next step for us will be to go into a full lever. So it's best, again, go from your easiest progression, go from the tuck, learn to extend the knees out straight. So what we want here is a locked knee, aesthetically pointing the toes, also engages our adductors and our midline more, but we can flex the feet and go into dorsiflexion to engage with more hip flexion as well. So there's room for us to work on both, where we want as much range as possible here. Really, that locked knee is the most important attribute. So go from the half lever to full. Make sure the lines are in sync. Knees are locked. Knees are squeezed together. And the shoulders stay down. Totally relaxed. Once we start establishing strength here, we have room to start playing with different positions. So we can do straddles. So straddle holds allow us to work against the gravity, the strength through the glutes and abduction. And then in its fullest, we can start working towards those nice strict hanging leg lifts. And what we've done with the hanging L-sit is we've established what we want in a hanging leg lift, a strict hanging leg lift. We want that stretched shoulder girdle, and we want those fine points of the active stretch. So that's a little brief on how we're going to get ourselves to the hanging L-sit.